Welcome to the Lessons from the Tank podcast. I have to tell you, if you guys have been listening for any length of time, or if this is the first time that you guys are logging in to listen, this is an episode you do not want to miss. Ayaan and Mickey from Ornament Anchor, they are 14 and almost 16, but they have been on Shark Tank not once, but twice. And their business is exploding. They talk about failure and how it's not a roadblock, but it's just a speed bump. These guys are so amazing, and especially when you take into consideration their age. You do not want to miss this. Check this episode out. Hey guys, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us. We're really excited. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man, I have interviewed a lot of people that have been on the show. This is a first for me, and I am so excited. I mean, first of all, man, how old are you guys? Like, come on, how old are you?
I'm 14.
And I'm 15, almost 16, man.
So 14, almost 16. Dude, I can remember, man, going into 16, I was like, hey, I'm 15 and 322 days. Like I was like counting down to 16. So
yeah, I'm definitely counting down the days. I'm so excited to start, driving and stuff.
Oh, I bet. And from all your profits, I'm sure your parents are sacking that away. I'm sure you have like a beautiful car that you're going to be driving at 16, right?
Well, I mean, it all depends really, but I'm saving for college right now.
That's good. But you guys are 14 and almost 16, and you guys have been on Shark Tank not once, but twice. That is fan-freaking-tastic. So, are you guys aware of how rare that is? Like, has that like really sunk in, or is it just like, yeah, I was on Shark Tank twice, whatever?
Honestly, nothing has sunk in for me. Even being on Shark Tank the first time hasn't even sunk in for me. So
it's crazy because like you go to school and like every day a new kid discovers you're on Shark Tank and they're like, you're on Shark Tank? That's crazy. And they ask you so many questions. And it's just rehearsed now because every day, and I guess it's crazy, but like to me, I guess it isn't that crazy because I've just experienced it so much.
Yeah, and on top of it, none of you guys been on it twice, but now you're running a successful business. And my understanding now, again, I got to know your parents a little bit, but my understanding, like your dad works for you, right? Is that yeah?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he works for us. It's a weird family dynamic in this house.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so before we go into like the lessons that you guys have learned at 14 and almost 16 years old, as far as being young entrepreneurs, let's talk about the show a little bit because, man, I watched your episode. Now I had seen you guys in the past, right? And then I just watched them again, in preparation. You guys stared down Mr. Wonderful better than any entrepreneur I've ever seen. Like stood tall, like not letting him like do his thing. But like, let's talk about, so the first time you guys were on, it was season 10, episode 16, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that experience. First of all, how nervous were you?
Oh, I was so nervous, but to be honest, like you said before, with staring down Kevin, for some reason I wasn't nervous around him. You just look at his big, bald, shiny head, and you're like, oh, this isn't too bad.
Honestly, I was more nervous about the actual pitch than you're in a room of million and billionaires, but I was more nervous about like, am I gonna say everything right? Like I didn't care whoever it was.
Yeah, whoever it was.
That was the most nervous part for me.
It was so cool. And I assume that, you guys had the same thing. You come in and you have to stand there and you have to like stare at them and then they stare at you and it feels
seconds. They make you stand there. They used to do it like in the earlier seasons. They used to make you do it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. It felt like, I'm not going to lie. Like if they would have told me that it was only, a minute or 30 seconds, however long it was, I would have called him a liar. Like there's like, it feels like you're there for an hour and a half, right?
Oh
exactly.
Yeah. The stare down feels longer than the pitch.
It does. But you guys nailed it. I was really impressed. So tell us a little bit about, that first experience. I thought your product was really, really, really cool. And you had your little sister on and mom and dad's. Like, give us like the little snapshot of what happened there.
So our first pitch was, the concept was me and Ayaan and Sophia were taking over our parents' pitch because we were pitching a kids product, right? A family product. And it was a really exciting thing. I remember we had rehearsed that pitch over and over and over
So
and
many
over and over
times.
again. We like, it was pounded into our heads. So, I thought we did a really, really good job pitching in front of the Sharks.
Yeah, a funny story that I don't know if many people know about it, but basically when we went during our pitch, we like changed to look like little business kids.
Yeah.
That took way longer than expected. So our parents were just standing there for a good amount of time and being like, "Oh, they're coming any second now," and the Sharks were just and they cut that out, obviously, but like that's something that no one knows about. That it was very funny.
Yeah, that's the one thing that surprises people is that it's not it's not shot in real time, right? So yeah, I'm sure you guys were in there for much longer than the 12 or 13 minutes, right? And they, a lot of stuff ends up on the cutting room floor, like you guys disappearing behind the display, and then to your point, taking way too long to
Exactly. Yeah.
Man, how nervous were your parents that you guys were taking that long?
You know what? I don't think they were nervous because the whole pitch, they were very confident that we could do it because we had shown them, we proved to them that from rehearsing it over and over again, they were confident in us to be able to deliver, a really good pitch.
Yeah. It's just so funny.
Such
I
an
mean,
interesting story. We have a lot of those.
They probably were a little bit nervous because like, what's taking them so long though?
Yeah, but I think if you watch back the episode, my dad cracked up a joke with Kevin while we were changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I again, having met your parents and especially your dad, I feel like he doesn't get nervous about anything. Like he just
he does not.
like, he just has that personality. It's like he just like bring it on, whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's my
and it's like the funniest thing is like whenever we talk to him and like whenever he comes out of a meeting, it's like, oh wait, what did you just do? It's like I just closed the deal with someone's and it's like what do you mean you just closed it? Like it just happened? Like, yeah, I did it.
Well, and I got to tell you, you guys should be really thankful for that because I see that in you guys. You know what I mean? Just in the short amount of time I've gotten to know you here, as we've been talking, like you guys are there's a confidence that you guys exude, which is so rare in most people, let alone young people like you. So you guys should, like, when we get off here, go give your parents a big hug because they did some good things with you. But
Thank you.
So Kudo bands, right? That was the first product.
Yeah.
You guys had good sales, you guys had good margins, but the Sharks didn't bite, right?
Yeah. So we decided, it sucked to, not get a deal, but we decided we're gonna get back there. One day we're gonna get back there, and look at us, we did.
That's what he said. Even at the end, he was like, the Sharks are gonna regret this. We're coming back.
And I have to tell you, I actually thought Lori had some sort of conflict of interest from what I saw there.
Yeah.
I thought that was like. That would have been a great QVC product. Like if she, like, I thought that would have been right up her alley.
It's interesting. I've never really seen that conflict of interest anywhere else. It's been like 5 years since, and I haven't even seen it.
Yeah. And she might, again, it just might have been something that she was working on, and it got tossed in the, and we'll talk about that a little bit because I think that's one of the lessons that all of us have learned, about, hey, sometimes stuff doesn't work out, and you just move on, right? But
nothing is guaranteed in business, and especially in Shark Tank, nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah. And so, all right. So that was a couple years ago. 3 years later, you guys come back on with a completely different product that has now, from what I see, has really taken off. So talk to us about Ornament Anchor.
All right. So Ornament Anchor is a genius invention that my brother made, which makes your ornaments safe on your Christmas tree. It's really simple. It's just a toggle that you zip up and down, and you put it on the branch, you clamp it up, and your ornaments will never fall off your tree again.
Yeah, I invented it for a school project when I was in 4th grade, and everyone loved it. And then a couple of years later, we decided to actually make it into a business. And so at the beginning, we just went to local Christmas and craft fairs because we didn't know if it would actually sell. We just tried to test it out, and it sold like crazy. Everyone loved it. So then that's just where business started. And I think that was 2019 holiday season, and we just went from there.
Yeah, and we were so amazed by the success we had made. I mean, it was only like $5,000 that we made, but to us kids, that was the biggest amount ever. It was crazy. And then we then watched a show a show about Joy Magano, who was a QVC person, right? Yep. And we were like, is QVC still around today? Because it seems like a perfect place to sell Ornament Anchor. So, and that's just really how our business ramped up and got started.
Well, again, you guys talk the things that you said there. Like, first of all, you were in 4th freaking grade, and you're
Yeah.
like doing like problem solving. That is so cool. And then going out and hitting the streets, like that's something that is again, a lot of times with entrepreneurs is missing. Like they go, hey, I have this great idea. It would be great if somebody did all of the work for me. You know what I mean?
I feel like this is the thing a lot of people are missing. Even that was a couple years ago, but it's important, I think, the grassroots strategy to actually get to know who your customers will be. It's super important because at the time, me and Mickey, we might have thought, okay, this is gonna, our customer is gonna be like this. And then when we went out to those Christmas craft fairs, we realized who we are actually selling to, and it gave us a lot of other analytical information that we could use to help grow the business.
And we're a big believer in the grassroots strategy, especially at the beginning of a business, because you learn so much, not about just about your demographic, but also you're learning about your product. What do people like about it? What are its best selling points? What is people feedback on it, right? How can I improve my product? And that's a really, really important process that I think a lot of people skip out on.
I have to tell you, first of all, you guys are using some, you guys are talking about some things that most mature business people do not quite grasp the concept. So, when you guys get out of school, if you guys want a job, you guys come see me. Like seriously, number one, you guys come see me. And on top of it, if your parents are ever mean to you, I will adopt you guys. Like seriously, you guys are fantastic. Holy crap.
I don't know if you want that, but me and Ayaan are going to be creating a lot of jobs, not just taking them.
Yeah, well, all right. So you guys went out. You guys saw great results from your grassroots efforts. You learned some stuff from who your target demographic is and things like that. And then what happens? So now you're like, you made $5,000. You're like, oh, this is all the money in the world. And then you realize that, wow, that's actually not all the money in the world. There's a lot more to be made, right? And so so you get on QVC, and how do you guys end up back on the show?
So our plan was just to continue going to local Christmas and craft fairs. We really didn't think that, as kids, there wasn't much else to do. But then COVID hit, right? Yep. COVID crushed us, and we were like, well, now we can't go in person anymore. We can't physically go and sell our product because nobody's going anywhere and physically going places. So that's when, we started talking to QVC. Within 3 to 4 weeks of talking to QVC, we already had a virtual purchase order, and almost every single person that we talked to about our product loved it. So we decided, okay, if we can't go grassroots, let's start a website, right? That first year we did make a website, but it wasn't the greatest website of all time because it was made by a 7th grader. But we made a really nice website. And that year we just decided we're going to go as great as possible, as strong as possible into e-commerce. So me and Ayaan, we started learning about e-commerce. Our parents, had done a lot of it. So we learned and absorbed information from them. And that year was the craziest year ever for us. We made a $300,000 revenue that year, which was the craziest amount. We were on CNN, Good Morning America, QVC.
Yeah. And from QVC, so we got the agreement from QVC, and we got the purchase order, and we went on QVC. I think it was late August.
It was a random Thursday night, 11 p.m. in August, and we sold out.
Yeah, and after that, I feel like that was the real kicker that got us started, because after that one QVC, we got back on a couple of times, but so many articles started coming out about us. And this would be now 2019 holiday season, just so many articles, and then
2020.
Oh, sorry, 2020. Sorry. And so many articles started coming out, and then eventually CNN saw us, featured us on CNN Heroes, and then it went crazy after that.
And the funniest part is that was very late into the season. That was like a December 21st or something like that, and where all of our sales were dying down, and we to all these sales, and we're like, where did they come from? And it was that CNN article. And so after that holiday season, we thought, we have something here. We proved that in person it sells and online it sells. People love the story. The Shark Tank, because we said, okay, now we are ready. We have a product. We know what we're doing. So that was the aha moment right after that holiday season to get back on Shark Tank.
So again, I just want to be, I want to make sure that everybody that's watching and listening understands. You guys went on, did not get a deal. That crushes people.
Yes.
Like it absolutely crushes people. And you're like, hey, you know what? Let's stick our hole back in, or let's stick our head back in that hole and see if they punch us again, right? So,
Yep.
so again, the sense of resiliency there is really impressive. Again, I'm just being honest with you. Most entrepreneurs do not have the stomach for something like that. And so, okay, so you get back on the show, right? You get back on the show. I watch. I love the demonstration. You know, tipping the tree over, all that fun stuff, right? And what happens?
Yeah, we didn't get a deal.
Didn't get a deal.
It was fun. So from walking into the tank, I was nervous the second time around too, because it's like they'll recognize you because we played the video.
And it feels, honestly, the second time you're more pressured than the first time.
Really?
You feel like last time I didn't perform, I have to now. The stakes are so high for me to be able to get this deal. And then when we came in that time, we had way better sales. We had like 6 retail purchase orders. That morning, we got another purchase order the same morning, right before we went to film. We were so confident. Our product, problem solution, simple product. Every single person, 95% of Americans need Ornament Anchor, right? There's 30 million trees in America. It's a $1 trillion industry. We thought there's no way we walk out of here without a deal, and somehow we did.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. One like funny story I had was during our pitch, when we flipped the Christmas tree over, we put on little like goggles as like a little joke. And as I was walking down, I don't know if they had cut it out. I'm not quite sure if it's in. As we were walking down, my goggles were in my back pocket, and they fell out. So when I went and I went like, all right, everybody, get your goggles on. And I reached my back pocket. I was like, shoot, my goggles aren't there. So I was in a panic, like a little panic. And then I realized I like pretended to put goggles on. And then I just like 3, 2, 1. And it was so fun. And no one else noticed. Nobody noticed.
I didn't notice it. Like I said, I watched it. I had no idea. Like I didn't notice that you had done it.
Everyone else was wearing glasses, and I'm just sitting there, just looking so stupid, bro. It was funny.
But again, how cool is it that you performed under pressure like that? Because most people, and you know, there's a certain, you know, of us that have been on that show, right? And it's not scripted. People don't understand that it's not scripted. Like we're in there, like, you know, fighting for our lives in so many ways, right? And there's a lot of pressure, but the fact that you can improvise like that under pressure is huge. It's a good job. Like I said, I missed it. I completely missed it. So I went out and my episode, like again, you start with the hi sharks. My name's Joe, right? And so you practice that over and over and over again. And you know, I listen to myself as I'm flying out, like say it, you know, because I'm like, I'm not gonna mess up my pitch. Literally, I got like hi sharks, and I was like like literally, like I got like choked up, and it kind of threw me, right? And you're like, how does this possibly happen? Like I've practiced this so much, but you got to roll with it. You just got to keep going, right? So, all right. So you guys didn't get a deal. But I personally, I'm just my thoughts. They did not see the opportunity. And
you know, if they had went with our original deal, their money would have been made back already. In less than in about 6 months, they would have had their money back already.
Exactly. It's all right though. We still own 100% of our company combined, so it's all right.
Hey, that's look. Sometimes not getting a deal. I mean, look at Ring Doorbell, right? Did not get a deal, sold his company for $1 billion freaking dollars. So you get the, you know, some of the positives of the show, all the, you know, recognition and things like that without having to give away your company. And you guys are rocking it. So that's awesome. Big congratulations for that. Now, just out of curiosity, what's next? Because I'm looking to invest, and I got to tell you, if I'm investing in anybody, I'm investing in you guys. Like, like are you guys cooking up something? You don't have to share any details, but is there like something new on the horizon?
All right. So, as me and Ayaan, we've always been inventors from a young age, right? We did all camp inventions. Invention convention was where he invented his idea. So believe me, when we say we have ideas, we have ideas.
100%.
We can't let you in on any of the ideas right now, but you know, when we get them patented,
Basically, let me tell you something. It's whenever we go on a walk or we sit down together to eat dinner every day, 5 new ideas
every day.
Every day. We have a huge list of just a bunch of just random ideas. It is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a lot of fun, exciting stuff.
But you know, in all realness, we want to push Ornament Anchor to its limits. We want every single person in America to keep their ornaments safe, because at the end of the day, not only are we keeping ornaments safe, but in some cases we're keeping lives. We're saving lives because a lot of veterinarians, believe it or not, have thanked us because cats like to swallow those hooks. The ornament will break, the cat will swallow the hook, it'll be stuck in, and then there's nothing you can do to really help the cat. So Ornament Anchor for us, we want to be able to push it out as much as we possibly can and save all of those memories. Like, you can't go back in time to when your kid was in kindergarten and you made that ornament with him, right? You can't get that ornament back that your grandma and your great grandma passed down to you, and now it's on your tree, but it broke, right? And the magic of Christmas is being able to see all these ornaments and remember those memories, right? And if you break an ornament, then you don't talk about that memory the next Christmas, and the memory could be gone. So me and Ayaan really, you know, it's really deep in us that we want to be able to share this product with as many people as we can so that their memories can be saved as well.
Man, the passion you have for what you guys are doing is fantastic. And I looked at your website. You guys also do, you know, speaking of the veterinarians, you guys give away a portion of all your proceeds to like animal rescues, right?
Yeah. So basically, when we first started our company, we both decided together that, you know, I think as business owners, we're responsible for helping out the community and helping out the world, I guess. But like, so we were like, how can we help? We own a business. We're hopefully going to be making money. So what can we do? So we decided, a big passion of mine is animals and pets especially. So we decided we're going to donate to animal shelters. And North Shore Animal League America is where we decided to start donating. And that's where we got one of our dogs from, and our grandma got one of her dogs from. So we work with them, and I think it was 2021 holiday season, or it was 2020 holiday season. We were even able to donate $20,000, which was absolutely amazing because it was something we were so passionate about, and we got to go down. It was just an amazing experience.
So, and you know, me and Ayaan really believe that every business owner, no matter if you have a small little lemonade stand or if you're a big corporation, you should be giving back, right? To be a responsible business owner is to be part of a community, right? We're all part of communities. So if you can just take a little bit of that success and share it with other people and other pets, and it's just going to make the world a much better place. And it'll make you feel happier too that you're donating.
All right. So we have talked, first of all, you guys are freaking terribly impressive. But all right. So we've been talking about a lot of things, and there's like 14 lessons that you guys have gone through, like everything from, you know, be generous to, you know, all that stuff. But let's go after one of them for the next couple of minutes. So let's talk about, you know, the fact that you guys, you know, went on Shark Tank, didn't get a deal, you know, all of the issues that you guys went through, and the fact that you guys are successful now. Like, how do you guys view failure? I'm really curious. How do you guys view failure? Because I don't think that it's even in your whole family's vocabulary. So, like, how do you guys, like, what's the mental thing that happens when something doesn't work out for you guys?
Okay, so in my opinion, failure is a bad word for it. Failure doesn't do itself justice, right? Because failure is a lesson. It's a lesson that you learn. When me and Ayaan went on Shark Tank, you know, we were sad that we didn't get a deal, but we picked up so many things from the sharks and so many different sorts of ideas that it ended up helping us in the long run. And now we have 100% of our business, which is growing and growing every day. Failure is just a bump in the road. And sometimes it can even be a blessing in disguise. You really have no idea if failure is going to be good for you or bad for you. For example, let me give you an analogy. Let's say you're going into a job interview, right? And you try your best to get that job, but you never get it. Who knows? You view that at the time as a failure, right? Oh no, I didn't get that job. Like, I just failed at my job interview. Maybe in 2 weeks, you do a new job interview of a much higher paying or a much more fun job, and you get that job. Was it really a failure in the long run if you ended up succeeding and getting something even better than you would have if you hadn't failed?
Exactly.
So I think failure to me is it's not negative. It's not a bad thing. It's just another bump in the road, which causes you to pivot, think differently, and, look at yourself and your situation in a new light and a new perspective.
I feel like failure is there to test you, because not everything, it's not always just going to go up. You're not always just going to be after one thing and another. It's just going to be perfect, because there's always going to be bumps in the road, and failure or just obstacles you have to overcome will teach you to be resilient and to persevere, and teach you that you're going to have to figure out a way. There's my motto, I guess, or one of them could be that there's always a way. No matter what you're coming across, you just have to think to yourself that there is a way, and then one will appear.
So how do you keep that positive mental attitude though? And especially as young people who, I'm sure a lot of your peers are, especially, being almost 16 years old, they start entering the world sucks, everybody hates me phase, right? And so, like, how do you fight that, especially as you're coming against these challenges that are adult challenges, not necessarily again, you're doing big business now. Like you're like talking about doing $300,000 in sales is not something that should come out of a, 14 and 15-year-olds mouths, right? That's not, so you guys you guys have big people problems, you know what I mean? And your peers have problems dealing with, I didn't get enough Instagram likes yesterday, so I'm depressed, right? So how do you guys, differentiate yourselves, mentally from everybody else?
And as mature and as adult like as we may seem, like we have those same issues that teenagers have, right?
We are.
I mean, I went through that phase, the world sucks, and it's hard to fight that. It's hard to think, and if you look at the news these days, it's just a bunch of terrible things that are happening. It's just all compiled into one show. So there's a lot out there to make you feel like, oh, this is terrible. Like everything is just sucks right now. But you have to know that there's, like Ayaan said, there's always a way. Not everything in this world is bad. If everything in this world were bad, then how do you have a life in general, right? How are you blessed with sight? How are you blessed with hearing? How are you able to feel things? And, there can't just be negativity in this world. And what keeps me going is just knowing that even if there's a little bit of positivity, I know that I can take that and use it to the best of my ability to be positive and to make sure that, even if it's failure, it's just a bump in the road.
I feel like I can agree with Kyle about the positivity part. Yeah, like positivity is a really big part of it, because there's so many negative things to think about, and it's difficult. It's a mindset though. Exactly. It's a mindset that you have to learn. It's a habit to teach yourself. You have to teach yourself this mindset, because you immediately, I feel like immediately you go to something that's bad. So you have to train yourself to be like, but even though this is bad, sure, it's bad, and you can accept it's bad, but I'll figure out a way how to make it good.
Almost, it's literally the analogy perfectly. Like, do you view the glass half empty or the glass half full? That's basically what it is. And being a business person, it's good to have a balance of both, but in your outlook of life, you should just always view it as glass half full.
So what about the passion that you guys have for what you're doing? So again, what I heard was, I'm not doing this to sell, ornament anchors. I'm doing this to save people's memories. I'm doing this to help animals. I'm doing this to, do you think that plays in where you have a bigger goal than simply, I want my company to succeed? Do you think that plays into it?
100%, because whenever you have a social cause like me and Ayaan do, we donate 10% of our profit to, pets in need. It makes you want to wake up in the morning and know that I'm not just doing this for myself. Like, sure, a mansion, a cars, a nice lifestyle. It sounds like really, really cool. But what even is it if you don't get to share that success with everyone around you? Whenever I go to work on my business, right? Whenever we go to work on our business, I'm always thinking like, I wonder if today I'm saving a few pets' lives, right? Or I wonder if, by doing what I'm doing today, I'm saving someone else's memories. So, it gives you the motivation to know that, oh, if you're tired or if you're sleepy or if you're not feeling like working on your business, there's a greater goal and there's a greater accomplishment that you want to achieve. So you're not just working for yourself.
Exactly. I completely agree, because like when you're making a lot of money and there's this beautiful lifestyle ahead of you, you think to yourself, I've worked so hard for this. And then you also got to think though, but remember where you could have come from, or just think about other people too. And it's like, sure, you can have a nice house and have a nice life, but then also think like, if put yourself in another person's shoes and be like, but I could be doing so much better, or I could be helping a lot more people,
Yeah, absolutely. And I also, again, just my impression of you guys, you don't have a lot of uh, you have a competitive nature, but you're not competing against other people, or you're not comparing yourself to other people. You're like, look, we're on our path and we're going to do things, the way that we know how to do it. And, if this person does better than me, man, they're blessed. That's amazing. If this person does worse than us, we're not better than them. They're just, they're just at a different stage. At least I just kind of get that from you guys.
Yeah. So, and some of that's true, but to be honest, I see it as the opposite.
Okay.
Ayaan, you know me. I'm a very competitive person, right? Fair. Whenever we're playing a card game, a board game, I'm yelling, I'm screaming, I'm counting cards, trying to win this game, right? And I think in the game of life, you have to be able to make yourself competitive, make yourself a dangerous business person, or else, it's going to be a lot harder to achieve success. So my real motto, but my real, thinking is that if you're going to take my spot, you got to wake up earlier than me. You got to work harder than me. You have to be better and smarter and more cunning and stronger than I am, but I'm not going to let you outwork me. Right. So I'm always viewing it as a competition, even if there's not a specific competitor that I can see, that I can visualize that to beat. I'm always knowing that if somebody's trying to take my spot right now, I have to work harder than them to keep my spot in the,
I can agree with Mikhail. I think that does make sense. But you like, sometimes you don't know the situation someone else is in. So like you were saying before, you got to make sure you have compassion. You don't think, of course, I'm better than that person, because no one's better than another person. No, they're just in different situations.
Yeah, but like if they're working harder than me, they deserve to take my spot. Yeah, I understand. They can have my spot if they're working harder. Exactly. They're doing it every single day on the grind. But I'm always striving to make sure that I'm always working as hard as I can.
Yeah, you got to hustle. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, man, I have to tell you, our time is almost up, and I hate that because I could talk to you guys for like hours. So you guys got to promise me that we're going to do this again, because I definitely.
This was so fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I actually have a manufacturing plant not far from you guys. Maybe we'll do the next one in person. Maybe we'll like hook up somewhere, and my team will come out and we'll just hang out and do something in person.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, you guys aren't far from. But anyway, so all right, so we are very close to your key time of the year. So how can we buy Ornament Anchor?
Yeah, so you can find Ornament Anchor on our website at www.ornamentanchor.com. We're also on Amazon, and this year we actually just rolled out in 600 Lowe's stores, which is insane to me and Ayaan. And it's been our dream to sell out at Lowe's. We actually went 2 weeks back and we looked at our product in the Lowe's stores, and it was just the craziest thing ever. So yeah, you can find us in Lowe's. We're in 600 stores, mostly the Northeast of America, but also a little bit further out, like towards Iowa and stuff. And also follow our TikTok at Ornament Anchor, because, that's where you can find out all the latest updates on Ornament Anchor, me and Ayaan's story, and anything else that you might want to know.
That's awesome. Any last thoughts here? Anything else we can leave with the listeners and the viewers?
I guess just keep working at it, because I guess one theme of this is that failure isn't an option. No, there's never an end. There's always ways. There's always ways to continue.
Yeah, and I think for me, the main takeaway is failure is just a bump in the road.
Exactly.
Failure is not permanent. You never know what's right around the corner, and you never know if it's a blessing in disguise. So even if you fail, just get back up, pick your feet right up. You never know. You never know.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on the podcast. And man, you guys rock. I cannot wait to see what the future looks like for you guys. I'm very convinced I might end up looking for a job from you guys, because man, I want to be a part of what you're doing in the future. You guys are so impressive.
Thank you.
You're, like I said, your parents did a great job with you. So I'm just saying that because I really like your parents a lot.
Yeah, they're awesome.
But no, thank you guys so much. Keep up the good work, and man, we're all going to be rooting for you. I promise.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Lessons from the Tank. If you got value from today's podcast, we encourage you to subscribe to the podcast so you're notified when a new episode is posted. If you'd like to support our podcast, we encourage you to review it and share it with a friend. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode.